welcome Minister Joly. We had a great conversation today, but I'll start off first with the Prime Minister. We sat down at the House, had an incredible, productive conversation of 5 different areas, roughly, and many other things as well. I'm very confident that we're going to move forward. We're all part of Team Canada, and the way I describe it is we're a big family across the country. And sometimes families disagree, but make no mistake about it, I'd probably say 98% we agree on, not just with the Prime Minister, but all the premiers. But in saying that, everyone's protecting their area, protecting their turf, but I feel it was very, very productive meeting. And the only thing I had to do is I had to buy him 2 slices of pizza. And I only had one to keep my beautiful figure in shape here, but it was a very good conversation. I'd also want to thank Minister Joly for coming up with a great auto strategy that the minister has put together that we're going to be part of, and along with a few other folks in Labour. And we're moving forward. We're in a very challenging time right now. Across the country, especially with what we're facing with south of the border, around the world. But we have the brightest, smartest people anywhere in the entire world. We can produce anything. We have the energy that people need, not just here, but around the world and our friends south of the border. We have the critical minerals, largest deposit in the entire world of critical minerals. We have many things going on. But I think we're all in agreement. We have to move faster, quicker, immediate. I keep saying that to every level of government, no matter if it's municipal, provincial, or federal. Let's start cutting the red tape, cutting regulations. It's going to be first out of the gate, especially with our energy and our nuclear build-out, no matter if it's SMRs or large-scale nuclear or critical minerals. Let's start moving. Everyone's in alignment. And as I've always said, there's 2 things that President Trump has done very well. He woke us up, and he's united the country like I've never seen before. And again, I want to stress, there may be a few disagreements here and there, but we're all on Team Canada, and we're going to move forward like Team Canada. So I'll pass it over to the Minister, and you can say a few words.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Premier. If I may, I just learned the passing of Kristen Duncan, who's
Yes,
my
no,
former
I'll
colleague.
acknowledge that right
Yes.
after.
So, of course, I would like to acknowledge the passing of my former colleague, Kirsty Duncan, former Minister of Science and MP. She was a dear friend, and I know this is a difficult moment for her loved ones and for many of my colleagues also back in Ottawa. So sending lots of love and strength to all of them. So thank you, Premier, for the meeting. Thank you, Vic, for the meeting. So it was an important meeting because we needed to talk about, obviously, what is going on in the auto sector. And I had the chance to meet earlier today Lana Payne from Unifor, and I've been having constant conversation with Flavio Volpe, also, who is representing the auto parts manufacturers. And so, obviously, we understand the pain that the auto workers are going through as the auto industry is facing real threats from U.S. tariffs. At the same time, there are many things we can't control, but there are things we can control. And what we do with our manufacturing sector here in Ontario and across the country is certainly something we can make sure that we can control. And that is why we decided to work together and to create an auto task force between Ontario and between the federal government. For us, it's important, as we will be presenting
Welcome,
our auto
everybody.
strategy, to make sure
Thanks
that
for
we
joining us this
coordinate
morning.
and work together. And the idea of this auto task force will be about looking at future strategic investments, and making sure also that we protect our workforce, and particularly our unionized workforce, and also making sure that trade works for workers and that they don't feel that it's going against them. And so we know we're an auto nation. We have the best car plants in the world. Every year we win new awards because of the work of our auto workers. So we'll continue to make sure that we build the best cars in the world for the world. Et donc, je vais parler 30 secondes en français. Désolée pour ceux qui ne sont pas habitués. Donc, j'ai eu l'occasion de rencontrer le premier ministre Ford et mon collègue Vic Fideli. Notre objectif était de travailler sur le secteur automobile. On sait qu'il y a beaucoup de préoccupations du côté du secteur. Il y a beaucoup de gens qui sont dans le secteur qui sont inquiets parce qu'il y a des tarifs injustifiés, injustifiables contre le secteur automobile. Alors, nous allons créer un groupe de travail pour le secteur automobile. Ce groupe de travail-là va être pour étudier et travailler sur des investissements dans le secteur, pour protéger les travailleurs aussi, particulièrement les travailleurs qui sont syndiqués, et finalement pour faire en sorte que le commerce et le commerce international puissent travailler pour nos travailleurs plutôt qu'ils aient le sentiment qu'essentiellement, ils en sont plutôt des victimes. Alors, ça me fait plaisir de pouvoir travailler avec le premier ministre ontarien sur cette question-là.
Minister, have you had a chance, did you...
Can I just acknowledge Kirsty Duncan? She's been a friend of the families from the day she got elected. She's just a wonderful, wonderful person. People don't know this, but our family had a rule. We'd never run against Kirsty. My office was there. Hers was beside me, and the same with Rob, worked with Rob and Michael. And she's just a wonderful person. Our condolences and prayers go out to the family.
Premier, to you and the minister, you've been calling for a change to the EV mandate, that you don't want the 20% by this year. The federal government's paused that. You don't want 60% by 2030 or 100% by 2035. Minister, first I guess we should ask you, have you agreed to a change in that policy as the Premier has requested?
So, when we're thinking of the auto sector and the auto strategy, we're looking at different parts. Of course, we're having conversations with EV mandates, but that's why we're creating also the auto task force, to be able to continue to see how can we first make sure that we work on the future of the car manufacturing, okay? Because we know that lots is happening in the world in the auto sector. There's a lot of electrification projects, and at the same time, there's lots of investments that are made, and there's U.S. tariffs. So we will continue to find a way to support those who are making cars here in the country, while also looking at electrification. How we square that circle, how does EV mandates come into, is actually the conversations we're having, and so we'll have more to say in the coming weeks about that. I know I'm not answering directly your question, but
You're a politician.
no, it's not. That's not the issue. It's not. The question is, we can't look at one policy. We have to look at everything that is affecting the auto workers.
À quoi ça sert une équipe de travail? Je veux dire, les têtes de l'industrie se mettent déjà ensemble pour travailler sur l'industrie automobile. I'll say in English too, because I would like you two to answer as well. What's the point of a task force when all the heads of the industry are already meeting and already talking about what the federal government and the provincial government need to do?
Well, because 2025 was about reacting to what is happening in the U.S. 2026 will be about being proactive, having a plan, stick to it, and make sure basically that we're able to control what we can control. And we can't just have an auto strategy in a bubble in Ottawa. We need to work with the Premier, we need to work with everyone to roll out the strategy and basically also have their input. So now what we're doing is actually creating the way, basically the task force, to make sure that ultimately we have an auto strategy, but also Ontario can be part of it.
Is that not already happening? Why do we need to call it a task force when everyone's already collaborating? Because you guys always say that.
Well, we're collaborating every day, but this is the first time I come in 2026 here, and we actually are talking about exactly what we'll be doing. So that's why it's a good first step.
Premier, was the part today that alleviated your concerns about the Chinese EVs that are going to be coming in, or is that something you're going to work through on the council?
Well, Rob, I think I've been pretty clear how I feel, but we're going to move forward. And my number one goal, and I know it's the ministers, I know it's the prime ministers, is about protecting the auto workers. And if that means if companies going to come in, no matter if it's from China or over in Europe or over in Asia there, we have one request: build the vehicles here. protect the auto sector. Make sure you get your parts here. Make sure we get the technology here. Make sure you follow the guidelines. That's what we will always vouch for, to make sure that our number one concern is to protect the existing auto workers. It's a big employer in Ontario.
It's a terrible agreement.
Well, again, I think I've voiced my opinion. I don't believe in rehashing it constantly. I want to move forward and really focus on the existing auto manufacturers here, see what we can do to support them and keep them here. And again, we always have to think of the U.S. As it stands right now. It's very difficult in Canada for auto companies if we don't ship the cars down south of the border. Now, are we looking at diversifying our trade around the world? 100% we are. Are we the best auto manufacturer? Do we have the best auto manufacturing people in the world? 100%. Technology will outproduce anyone. So I'm very confident as we sit down and we move forward, we're going to make sure that we'll protect the sector.
Is that not blindsided by the deal with the Chinese EVs? Do you know, did you get from the Prime Minister the reason why you were cut off with this deal? And do you think it has anything to do with that Ronald Reagan anti-tariff ad that your government put forward?
Well, first of all, I'll start with the Ronald Reagan ad. Absolutely nothing to do with that whatsoever. That's long past, even though, as I always say, it was a great ad. But we're moving forward. You know, as I say, go back to my original statement. You got a big family. You're going to disagree with family members, and then you straighten it out. You move forward and make sure we're doing the right thing, not just for Ontario, but the Canadian people. And make no mistake about it, it's Team Canada all the way.
But what did he say to you to alleviate your fears about this deal? Are you still worried that thousands of
Well,
jobs?
I don't get into private conversations I have with the Prime Minister. That was a small part of the conversation. A bigger part with the Minister. That's her portfolio, along with my great Minister Vic Fideli that travels around the world, similar to Minister Joly. And I appreciate all the hard work that they do, attracting new companies to our market here in Ontario. You know, we're going to continue making sure that we're competitive on the tech sector, on the life science sector, manufacturing, financial sector, and the auto sector, food and agriculture. Those are the big ones. Yes, go ahead. Yeah, sure.
What have you been able to tell the Premier about the government's plans for Chinese investment? There's people say there's guarantees of that. What's your response to these questions?
Well, there's two aspects of it. First, the auto strategy coming out will be able to address what we do with electrification, but also what we do with foreign direct investment, including from China. I really think that it's important that we protect our workers, particularly unionized ones, well, all of them, but we want to focus also on unionization. We think it's important, and we think also the security of software is really important. We'll never jeopardize or compromise the security of Canadians. It's our number one preoccupation and priority. And at the same time, we're definitely looking at making sure that there's a local supply chain, like the Premier mentioned. So that's one thing. Second thing is the amount of 49,000 Chinese EVs starting March 1st. When it comes to that, we will come up with the different conditions linked to it in the coming weeks. So we will be able to inform you with more. With more details in the coming weeks.
Minister also expects that as part of the deal, China will invest in the industry and protect jobs here as well. The Premier has been very clear he doesn't believe that will happen. What makes you hope this will happen? And if you can answer in French.
Well, I already had meetings with different automakers, maybe Hyundai, maybe with Volkswagen, maybe BYD, Chery, and many Chinese automakers. I've had these conversations, continue to have these conversations. I think we have to be not naive, but also we have to be open-minded. And you know, the number one preoccupation when we talk about protecting jobs is we don't want any form of erosion of our industrial base in Canada. That's our goal. And, you know, we say that through saying, basically, we want to protect auto workers. And in that sense, we have means to make sure that that doesn't happen. And we will use these means. and I'll be able to talk to you more about it in the auto strategy. Donc, on n'est pas naïf concernant le secteur automobile et le fait que on veut protéger nos travailleurs de l'automobile, parce que quand on dit ça, ça veut dire fondamentalement qu'on ne veut pas faire en sorte qu'il y ait une érosion industrielle. Donc, il y a une érosion du secteur de l'automobile au Canada. Le secteur automobile, bien entendu, est très, très important pour l'Ontario, mais il est important aussi pour l'ensemble du pays, parce qu'on sait que l'économie ontarienne est essentiellement l'épine dorsale de l'économie canadienne. Donc, dans ce sens-là, on a différents moyens pour protéger notre secteur industriel, pour protéger nos travailleurs. Et on va les utiliser. Et donc, on aura l'occasion de présenter ces différents moyens-là dans notre stratégie automobile au cours des prochains jours. Well, you know, the Prime Minister had an important work to do on the trade side, and we will always bring along Ontario. We'll always bring along all the different premiers. It's important for national unity issues, but also to make sure that we're able to protect workers. I think Prime Minister and the Premier had a really positive conversation today, met together. They'll have the chance to see each other also later this week, Wednesday in Ottawa, and that's exactly why I'm here too. But folks, I think what is really, really important to remember is that there's a real rupture happening in the world right now. And the Prime Minister addressed it in Davos. We have to be able to make sure that while this is happening, we can protect our workers. We can think differently. We can use all the different levers we have as a provincial government, as a federal government, and we will use them. And I said it before during this scrum. I said 2025 we were reacting, 2026 we will be proactive, because that's what people expect us. While there's lots of chaos in the world, while there's lots of unpredictability coming out from the White House, we will make sure that we control things here at home.
Premier, the Science Centre roof survived the biggest snowfall in Toronto's history. Did you provide a false reason for closing the Science Centre?
Not at all. I had two independent engineering firms telling me it'd be dangerous, and then when there's children in there and saying there's a possibility of the roof collapsing, I'm not going to chance having children in there, and I'm responsible for that not happening. But I'm going to tell you the good news, and I can't wait to show the media in a couple of weeks. It is a world-class design. It's going to be spectacular. We're going to have more programming than we've ever had. It's going to be in a much better area, and it's going to be exciting. And when I show you the designs that I saw, that they went around the world and found a design that is going to be it's jaw-dropping when you see it. And when I say it's jaw-dropping, you'll be impressed.
Premier, on marine land, it sounds like
Yes,
there's conditional approval to send the remaining belugas to the United States. What do you think of that?
Well, they're going to have a better home than where they are, because it's terrible. The home they're in right now, it wasn't large enough, and I look forward to making sure that they have a much better life than what they had over at Marineland. They're going to be taken care of. So I'm quite happy for the whales. I'm quite happy for the dolphins. And so that's it.
We're seeing a possible opening date for Eglinton Crosstown. I'm
Yeah,
wondering.
last one, for sure, last one. Okay.
We're seeing that confirmed
Yeah.
now a few places February 8th. I'm wondering
Yeah.
if you would support a public inquiry once this line does open.
No, February 8th, I've said right from day one, we inherited, we took the responsibility. Thank God it's opening. They've done hundreds of thousands of kilometers of testing, and it's going to finally get finished. One end of the city is going to be connected to the other, but I'm happy it's done. That's all I can tell you, because it's been a nightmare for all of us, I'm first to admit. But it's going to be incredible, along with when we do the Eglinton West. That was on time, actually 6 weeks ahead of schedule. Then we're doing the Scarborough, then we're doing Young North and Hazel McCallion line, and the big one, the Ontario line. So we're doing the largest transit expansion in North America. It's long overdue. It should have been done gradually over decades, but it wasn't. So now we're moving forward, and I just want to thank everyone involved. I want to thank the City of Toronto for their area, Metrolinx, Michael Lindsay is an absolute champion, and we're all going to work together. That's how we have to do it. We've got to collaborate, keep working together. Anyways, folks, Vic, do you want to wrap it up and tell them your forecast on the economy? You're sitting there quiet, but this guy works his back off.
Well, I just want to acknowledge the work that the Premier and Minister Joly have done on this task force. But I have to tell you, it all started when we got elected, when we lowered the cost of doing business. There'd be no interest in Ontario if we had not lowered the cost. $7 billion a year, then 8, then 9, then 10, then 11. Now it's $12 billion a year. So when we travel, and I know Minister Joly feel the same way. We were in 20 countries last year, and tomorrow you're going to see the results of one of them as we make another announcement, the company that we've landed. But when I think of Vianode, that invested $3 billion here in the auto sector, they're going to make synthetic graphite. It's a spectacular commitment to Ontario, and it's an endorsement. When I think of Sandvik, who's opening in Sudbury from our work in Sweden, when I think of the company from Japan that is opening in Eastern Township, making soy products here in Ontario for the very first time, powdered soy milk, first time in Canada. All of these companies that landed here because we've made the conditions right for them to open their businesses. We do travel, and we hear the same thing. When you think about all of the war in Ukraine, when you think of the turmoil in Israel, when you see all of the other conditions, especially the things that are happening from down south, and all the turmoil in the world, they stop and they look across the ocean and they see this beacon of light that's Canada. And they tell us that. I know they tell you that. I know they tell me that. They talk to the Premier about it. You know that here you've got a jurisdiction that is reliable, that is dependable, that is, more importantly than anything today, predictable. And they tell us that. And they tell us they feel safe here when they come to Canada. And that's why they know I'm going to use it, Premier, when that big mitt from Premier Ford comes out to shake your hand, you know you have a deal, and you know you have our word, and you know we have your back. And that happens. I've seen that over and over and over. And these are the companies that would stand here and tell you exactly what they felt years ago is exactly what's happening to them today. They know they've got a deal here.
Last thing, our prayers are with the people from Iran. I love you. Keep fighting. Never give up. And we're always there for you. Thank you.
All right, so there you have it. And we're going to say have a good morning. Leave your comments and your thoughts and whatnot. And we'll be back. Have a good afternoon.